Good morning. Mug of the day. My name is Melinda, and this is a web of stories, and I am here to wrap up my week. And the cat has something to say. Yeah. Anyway, excuse the sort of disheveled look, and also excuse any comments I might have made in the past day or so. Well, since yesterday, which is today, Friday to today, which is Saturday, that have really weird typos in it. So a week or so ago, I held up my hand and I had a brace on it because I had tendonitis in my wrist. And I realized something, and I shared this with my children today, is that you're in middle age when you develop a pain in your body that never goes away. It just migrates to different parts of your body, and that's what's going on. So as soon as the tendonitis in my wrist was gone, I got something in my jaw, my jaw hurt. But then that went away, and as soon as it went away, tendonitis in this wrist. And this is bad because this is my dominant hand. And typing has been a mess. Styling my hair was a no-go, which is why I got the ponytail today. I know it's easy, just a day with the brace will definitely help, but your wrists are important, people. Take care of your wrists. Because man, yeah. Anyway, so that went on this week. As for other stuff, this is going to be a shorter video today, and I'll get to why, because I don't have that much to talk about. But let's see. Wednesday was my husband's birthday. We didn't do much. My husband and I went out for lunch. I said, let's go out for dinner. And he said, no, because then we have to pay for the kids. So then we went out for lunch without them. It was great. And it is indecisive weather here in Oregon. It is actually nice today. I don't know what the temperature is. Let me see here. It's 61 degrees right outside, so it's a little cold to film outside. But we're having hot days, cold days. It's going back and forth, so you never really know what you're going to get, which is kind of weird. But it is spring in the Pacific Northwest, so there's that. Let's see what else. The bookish thing that is creeping me out. This happened, and this is just really creeping me out. So I think it's, that thing masterclass. They have people come who are supposed to be masters and talk about their things. They had Shonda Rhimes talking about screenwriting, and they had James Patterson talking about novel writing, and George W. Bush talking about leadership. But they've gone a step too far, as if that wasn't a step too far. They've gone a step too far this time. I don't know if you've seen this, but they have an AI Agatha Christie leading a masterclass. It's an AI, you take it, there's an AI of her talking to you. I don't know. I keep seeing an ad for it, and I'm like, this is too weird. Not a good use of AI. AI is a tool. It is neither good nor bad. It's how you use it. And that is a bad use of AI. Just, now that I've mentioned it to you, you'll probably start seeing it. It is really creepy. Anyway, I don't know if Agatha Christie would have liked that. She might have. Who knows? Anywho, as I said, short video. I only have one book to talk about today because I've only finished 2 books this week, and one is a Booktube prize book. So if you want to know what I thought of that, come back in June. And the book I have today, I did actually finish it before May started, so it's May 2nd. So I finished it Wednesday or earlier, something like that. And normally what I would do is just talk about it in my monthly wrap up and then talk about what I finished since then in my weekly, but I haven't finished anything since then, so I need something to talk about. So I already filmed my April wrap up, which will be out on either Tuesday or Thursday. And in that I said that I have spoken about this book in my weekly wrap up, which I haven't done yet, which I'm doing now. So, Booktube time is weird, but anyhow, I'm not going to will not talk about it in length in my monthly wrap up, but I will talk about it here. And it is the book for my library book club, which we are meeting tomorrow as I film this, today as you watch it, Saturday. And it's a book I had not heard of until it came up on my book club thing, and it's called Such Big Dreams by Reema Patel. And I enjoyed this book. But it took me a little while to settle in with it. So the premise is you're following a character named Rocky. Rakihi, not Rocky. And she is a 23-year-old woman. They describe her as haunted by the grisly aftermath of an incident that led to the loss of her best friend 11 years ago. Basically what happened is she lives in Bombay, and she became, her parents died. She was living with an aunt and uncle. It was a bad situation. She became a street kid in Bombay, and she was kind of with a gang of kids, and something happened. And she and her best friend, who was a boy, same age as her, maybe a year older, they get picked up. They're like 11, 12, 13 at the time. And they're separated at this point. And she's sent to, I don't know if it's really like, it's not really a reform school. It's like a convent school. And while she's in this convent school, she loses communication. She loses, track of this other friend. But in this convent school, she befriends this woman who's, I'm sorry, the garbage truck is coming. Timing is perfect. Another reason why I'm not filming outside. Anyway, she's at this convent school. This is all set up for the book. And this woman who's like a human rights lawyer, and has her own little human rights boutique agency in Bombay, sort of befriends her, and I don't want to say really befriends her, but becomes her benefactor, I guess, or something, and helps her through this. And then when she gets out, she gives her a job as basically an office lackey in her office. So that's where we pick up the book. She's 23. Rocky is 23 years old. She's working at office lackey in this human rights law office in Bombay that is struggling, but she just kind of does her thing. And she's the person who makes tea for people and runs copies. That's her job. And this law office brings in foreign interns. Like at the beginning, they have these 2 Dutch girls who are not really there. They're just there for vacation. But then they bring in this guy named Alex, who is biracial. His mother, one of his parents is Indian. The other one's white. He's from Canada, but he's there for the summer until he goes and starts a master's degree at Harvard. And he has some connections that come into play. And so it's sort of Rocky following this situation. And there's a lot of dynamics going on here because of who Rocky's past and how people see her. And what I thought of reading this book was toxic charity. That's really what this felt like. And also, yeah. I remember reading Cutting for Stone by Abraham Verghese, is his name? Anyway, in it they talk about the sort of idea of toxic charity. I don't know if they call it toxic charity, that's what I call it, but they're talking about, they have this hospital in Ethiopia, and all these American missionaries want to help them, so they keep sending them Bibles, and they go and they show them this room that's just stacked full of Bibles. It's like, what are we going to do with all these Bibles? This is not helping us. No, it's sort of the same thing that's going on with this. It took me a little while to settle in with this book, so I don't know. It took me a little while to kind of be grabbed into it, but then when I was, it really held my attention. Rocky's a really interesting character. She's not always likable. Like, she definitely, when you first meet her, and this might be a little bit why I had a little trouble settling in, but she's definitely sort of like, sort of bad. She's like, and you understand later why this is, but I mean, your initial impression of her, she's got like a bad attitude. Although it is, it makes sense. You just don't know all the details yet. And, she's 23 years old. So she's really at that point where she's trying to find her way in the world. And she really is alone, because one of the things with this woman sort of taking her on was they told her, you can't have any contact with the people you knew in the past. So the kids in the child gang, including this guy who was her best friend. And so she's really on her own. And there's a lot of things going on here. There's just sort of the way society is structured in Bombay. There's that. It never comes out and says caste system. That's never something that's really dealt with specifically, although I kind of feel like that's just sort of built in with this. And so that is an element. But there's also rich and poor and political influence. There's all these things going on, and you're seeing through the story through the eyes of Rocky, who is this person who's sort of out of all of it, but she's just there in the middle of, even though she's on the outside of all of it, but she's in the middle. And she's really kind of recognizing that she doesn't deserve the treatment she's getting. And I think she always recognizes it. That's probably why she seems like she has a bad attitude at the beginning. But there is all of that going on. It is kind of a complicated story, but not horribly so. Not complicated in the way that it would keep you from enjoying it. There's just a lot of machinations in the story. The characters are, I think the characters are pretty well drawn, the ones that you kind of get to know. There's characters that seem kind of, quote, villainish, but you also kind of see them and how they got to that point or why they see the world that way. Not that excuses them, but it explains things. So I think that, yeah, I like this book, and I definitely would recommend this book. As I said, the discussion is tomorrow. This is why I haven't posted about it. I'm going to wait till after my discussion tomorrow, or today as you see it, before I post this on Instagram. I've been trying to post all of my reads that I would at least recommend on Instagram as I do them. Minus the Booktube prize stuff. I am not the sort of person who posts stuff I don't like, because I don't know, I just don't think that's necessary. But if a book is at least recommended in my mind, I would post about it. So there is going to be a post on this. Probably by the time you see this video, there will be a post on this on Instagram. Just really quick, these are my thoughts. Mostly because I want to hear the rest of my book club had to say. But I enjoyed this. This is a debut novel. Reema Patel she's of Indian descent, but she is from Canada. And I thought that was interesting too. And she's a lawyer by background, so the whole law thing kind of makes sense as well. As far as I can tell, she was born in Canada, although she did work for a while in Bombay. There's a deal with that, like, is it Mumbai or Bombay? That's something that's a little bit discussed in here as well. But yeah, I didn't know anything about this book. I'd not heard of it. Now, I always feel kind of silly saying that, because sometimes I'll say, I've never heard this book. It's completely new to me. And everyone's like, oh yeah, that was such a big book a few years ago. It wasn't in my realm a big book, and I missed it. But I did enjoy this. I would say if you don't know about it, maybe look into it. It's a good, honest look at current-ish society in Mumbai, with some really strong characters. So yeah, that's what I have there. I currently have a lot of books that I am reading. Meg Heyman. I need to read fewer books. I also need to step back and slow down my reading a little bit. But that's hard when I want to read all the things. You know how that is? But I'm working on it slowly. You can see all of my current reads down below, just there. And again, I got approved to be an affiliate for bookshop.org, so there are links. I do get a kickback, but no pressure. That's just like an easy way to find them, so I put them there. But yeah, that's my week. This short video today. As I said, I'm going to see if I'm behind on tags. I'm going to see if maybe I can do a tag like now and maybe put that up on Tuesday, and then put my wrap up on Thursday, or maybe not. Maybe my wrap up will be on Tuesday. It's going to be a surprise, so tune in. Anyway, subscribe, join my Discord, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.